What's it like giving a contract to someone in your Jamaican family?
Okay, I haven't done that yet.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, I have. So me and my brother have done real estate together. So naturally, he is an investor, and naturally contracts have to be involved because we're actually doing legit things.
Mhm.
And it's funny because my whole family, we live together. So it's like, I know where you live, but that doesn't negate the fact that he has a business and it's a real estate deal or agreement. So we've done contracts together. I have given a contract to a friend. They asked to borrow money, and it was a lot of money. And so I wrote up a little contract, and I basically said, if you don't pay me back by this day, I'm going to be adding interest. And they ended up having to pay interest, but I got my money back. Mm-hmm. There's a level of professionalism and seriousness when you are like, yeah, I don't mind doing this, but we have to have some boundaries here. So, and then of course that's protection for me too, because it's like there were expectations and you didn't meet them. And so if I decide to not talk to you ever again, it's not, why did Shay stop? No, like this is why. So I prefer to do it that way.
No, I hear that. Yeah. I hear that. Well, speaking of Jamaican, what was finance in your house like growing up?
Non-existent. So yeah, I would say I've always been very transparent about my story. Like I do not have a struggle story. However, my parents never talked about money. And my mom always just said, save, save, save. But I didn't have a lot of responsibility. So it was kind of like, well, what am I saving for?
Yeah.
To the point where it was like, oh, snap, I can't afford a Metro Pass, or I can't afford to like do certain things.
You're sneaking on the TTC? Yo, did you ever get fined?
I walked to there was a point in time.
TTC is crazy.
There was a point in time I walked to the gym. My gym was 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
Wow.
I lost weight.
From walking?
Yes.
All that cardio.
I was committed. But I couldn't afford a Metro Pass and I didn't want to ask my parents. So I walked. That was my struggle. No.
Yo, did you ever like during those TTC days, sometimes you just grab a bunch of change and just dash it in
Definitely.
there? And like, what are they going to do?
Clink,
Definitely.
Clink, and just walk in the back. Like, you got to keep this thing moving.
Yeah. Also, you know how it's $3.25? Yeah. Who puts the 25 cents
25 cents. Nah, yo. One time, like I was working at the Source. And I used to live on like Dundas and Bathurst to go to the Eaton Center.
Yeah.
And it's in the morning at this time, right? So I used to go through the back and these are the old streetcars, not the new ones.
Oh, yeah.
The two-door ones.
Yeah.
Right? The OG ones.
With the stairs.
With the stairs, right?
Yo, I had to rack my brain. I'm like, wait, what did the old streetcars look like?
Are you making fun of Rick Ross?
Shout out to all the pairs.
Shout out to the pairs.
Oh, gosh.
So, so I had a plastic Starbucks cup. Because I used to make my coffee at home. So like I can just walk to work with a coffee. I don't got to buy Timmy's or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm there and I'm like hiding behind everyone and I get in the car. And, back in the day, they used to flash that little paper. Like, that little transfer?
Yeah.
Like you flash it as if like the guy in the front is looking at you. Flash it, right? I get in and boom. Conductor, like TTC fare inspector. He's like, hey, proof of payment, sir.
Oh,
and
man.
I was like choking on my own words. I was like, just trying to get to work, whatever.
Yo.
So here I come out. And then he's like, oh, so you can't pay $3.25, but you can get a Starbucks, eh? And I'm like, sir, listen, this is a plastic cup. I don't care. You had time to make coffee. You had everything to do, but you can't pay $3.25. Yeah. And I'm like, he's like, oh, what's your name? And I'm like, yeah, this is my name. Give me your ID. Wrote me out a $200 ticket.
Damn. This podcast is brought to you by Lather. Lather is a men's grooming line focused on using natural ingredients along with their invincible line. I highly suggest it. It makes you smell damn good.
See, I'm not with that. I'm not with that whole fair inspection, fair like fine thing,
Mm-hmm.
because you're trying to tell me that if I don't pay 325, you're gonna fine me. I think it's actually like $500 or close to $500 now.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna fine me 500. So if I can't afford, let's say I really can't afford the fare, you think I can afford the ticket?
Mm.
That
Two
makes no sense.
bills.
And how
And
much
you're a
money did you
student.
spend on employing? I know we need the employment, but employing these people who we all know love to target a certain group of people.
Mm.
I'm just over it.
You're done, eh?
Yeah.
Tossed in the towel.
I really feel like they could make TTC free. They made it free for the seniors and the kids. Big up yourself. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they could make it free for everyone.
Yeah, and those fare prices are not in your budget.
Mm.
You know, you're budgeting for fare, like especially those days you're budgeting for Metro Pass. That was like a 125.
Yeah.
And if you're not abusing that pass every day,
Exactly.
right,